Growing up, there was letters sent to my parents about kidnapping me and my sisters. Y'all tuned in because of my drama. When I left, y'all didn't even watch Love and Hip Hop. I was never the starter, I was always the finisher. So I went out with Cisco, we had a really good time. I think our first day we went from like dinner to like a strip club. I was musically in tune. So he was like, yo, you always in the studio saying what I should, what I shouldn't do. Let me see you write a song. And I was like, oh nigga, that's easy. Don't ever threaten me with a good time.
This is Moe. Camera A, take one. Mark.
I'm from Harlem, New York, 124th and 7th Avenue to be exact. Or if you don't know about 7th, it's Adam, Clay, and Powell, okay?
Yeah, I went to FDA 1, so Harlem is a special place in my life. 145th, Adam, Clay, and Powell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, right before you hit over the bridge to the Bronx where you can see Yankee Stadium. Yeah, so what part of Harlem you from? Talk to me.
I just told you, I'm from 124th and 7th Avenue. I'm dead smack in the middle of Harlem, right by the Apollo Theater. Yeah, that's where I come from. Shout out to Enos Francis. It's funny because a lot of people debate whether I'm from uptown or downtown. I'm from the middle. My mother is from downtown. My father's from uptown. So they both fought over me. I know I'm a hot topic to fight over.
So tell me what it was like growing up in Harlem.
Ooh, Harlem. Harlem had a lot of culture back then. Harlem was a lot of fun. Harlem had... I wouldn't call them gangs. I would call them like crews. And depending on what crew you was with, depending on, basically dictated how popular you were. So Harlem was a vibe growing up. Culture. On the east side, you had the Puerto Ricans. On the west side, you had the African Americans. Uptown in Dykeman or whatever, you had the Dominicanos. And then downtown, well, Middletown, you got my Caucasians. And then when you go all the way downtown, well, we're not talking about Harlem, just in general. I'm from Manhattan. That's what I like to claim. Because I rep the whole borough, not just Harlem. Harlem is a town. That's what I call it, in Manhattan.
Harlem or Soho West? Isn't they trying to change it?
Who that, Hoppo? I don't know.
Change the name?
No, Harlem. Harlem is where I'm from, but the borough itself is Manhattan. And that's what I rep. I rep the whole Manhattan, uptown, east, west. Yeah, that's it.
So I know you come from Black love. You know, I know your parents been married a long time. Your dad is very important to Harlem. I'm gonna let you tell the story, not me. I know you come from a strong mother, so get into the nuts and bolts. Tell me about your childhood, walking the streets of Harlem until you know where I'm heading. And then you move to another state. Talk. Tell me everything. Come on.
So I'm born and raised in Harlem, like he said, 124th and 7th to be exact. My parents were together for over 40 years. My mom and my dad is like real big on back. I'm not even going to just say my mom and dad because the majority of my aunts and relatives are married. I come from like strong family background. My family is very supportive. They support everything I do. I got cousins and my uncle is like younger than me. It's so funny. I got an uncle that's younger than me, but not like by months. So like they'll call me if I don't speak to them throughout the weekend, be like, yo, what's up? We going to have cousins drinks or what we doing? So like my family is very family oriented. The building that I grew up in, I had my aunt upstairs. I had my uncle on the 10th floor who still lives in his building. I had my cousin. So yeah, the building was real. Enos Francis, shout out to y'all. They was definitely like cousins. Everybody was like cousins. Elementary school, I went to school downtown, and this is where my downtown aspect come from. I went to school PS 75, my elementary school, which is on 96th Street, where I used to walk back and forth to the projects, my grandmother's projects, where my mom was born and raised, Douglas projects, and that's why I rep Douglas as well, because Douglas is a very big part of my life. So Douglas projects is when I spent my elementary side, and then when I went to junior high school, which was Watley, which is in Harlem, 114th and between 7th and 8th Avenue, is where I met like a lot of my friends, and that's where like BBOD came about. And a lot of my best friends that I'm still friends with to this day, Watley was a very big part of my life. So
yeah. Now, your father is a very important figure in Harlem. I want you to talk a little bit about, his journey, who he is, how that affected your life growing up in Harlem. And I want you to get into doobie rap. I want you to get into Pennsylvania life.
Okay, so let's get into it. I gotta get there. It's just so much. Okay, so let's run through it. My dad and I hate to like talk about it and brag about it because it's not a thing that we should big up in our community, especially. My father was a big time, well, he was a drug dealer around the Alpo and Rich Porter time. And he was also very known. He was very popular. Growing up, there was letters sent to my parents about kidnapping me and my sisters. And it was all types of shit that went on. Like, so I experienced it all. I had a security guard growing up. My parents were like really into like the music lane. Well, my mom. My father invested a lot into like Biggie Smalls and Little Kim and them, and my mother worked hands-on with Little Kim and Eve. And I remember being a young girl and Eve would rap her verses to me. And shout out to Kim, because if I fast forward, Kim definitely was a huge supporter of BBOD. She took us on the road with her and we opened up for a lot of Little Kim concerts, and I'll get into that once I get to it. But my dad, he was known. He was really big in Harlem. DB, shout out to him. He think he the star, but I'm definitely the star right now. He's living off of me. No, I'm joking. He gonna kill me when he sees it. But yeah, my dad, he was popular. And then he met my mom and they had beautiful children and raised us, and we lived in Harlem for a very long time. My father also went to jail. So my father served a little bit over 8 years in federal penitentiary. He went to jail when I was in elementary in 5th grade, and he didn't come back until, he didn't get out of jail until I was in the 11th grade, like reaching the middle of my 11th grade year. And it's like so hard for a girl. And I know like some people can relate to me and some can't. Some girls have that issue where their parents or a parent is missing out of their life. And then when the parent come home, they feel like, oh, I'm telling you this and I'm telling you that. And it's like, damn, maybe you should get to know me. I have changed drastically from the 5th to the 11th grade. And practically in the 11th grade, you damn near a whole adult. So, you know, me and my dad built our own bond and we learned each other. And he is the person that is responsible for teaching me about cars and everything I know about cars, because he went from being a drug dealer to reinventing himself and becoming a salesman where he sells cars and have one of the highest selling companies right now in New Jersey. He's a broker and he taught me how to do car sales and everything I know about cars from when I was a little girl riding around in a car seat with BBS's and his cars with BBS rims and pipings on my car seat. And yeah, so my dad that's a whole story within itself.
Well, you know, there's a lot of things going on about Paid in Full. There's a lot of things going on about Who Owned the Rights, 50 Cent. So the series is coming out. We all excited to learn more about.
You telling me about
journey,
this?
and they better be calling him because he was a part of that era, big time a part of that era. But I want to talk more about like how did your dad being incarcerated affect your life, affect your mother? You know, now she's a single mother. She has to grind, and she has this expectation of y'all one of those ones, right? So she's trying to keep up with a livelihood that her husband left. I know you have properties in Jersey. Your dad wasn't a dumb man. So like,
no, my father was very smart.
Yeah.
Throughout my whole childhood, we always had a house. So we had a townhouse in Jersey City, which we would go to like throughout the weekends or whatever, but mainly we stayed in Harlem. So when my father was released from jail is when he basically was like, oh, you know, I want to change our kids' environment. Let's let them go to school in Jersey. Let's change it up. Moe's in like one of the worst schools, which I was. I went to Brandeis for high school, and that was like a zone school. So it was like one of the worst schools in Manhattan during that time. There used to be like a lot of kids getting cut in the face. Like we had to go through metal detectors. And yeah, I was one of those mixy girls that was outside and hanging out with like everybody. Like I knew A$AP Rocky, I knew Ferg, I knew Tiana Taylor. We were literally all raised as family. Like in Harlem, it's more like a family. It's so small that everybody knows each other, or the parents grew up together. So you just know each other based off of that. So once I went to Brandeis, when I started getting real mixy in high school, my father was like, yo, it's time to change it. Take her to Jersey. I went to Jersey. It was no better. It was actually worse. I was getting into a lot of altercations because I was fly, okay? I had that shit on. Stop. So the girls, you know, they had like they wanted to beef, and I was with whatever static that they was with. So I was calling my New York friends. They was catching the bus over to Jersey to make sure, you know, whoever got a problem with me, we handle it. And I don't condone violence, but That's what happened when you're kids. You get into that type of shit. So I spent like maybe half of a year in Jersey going to NJCU. And then my parents realized, okay, this school is not that great. And they sold their house and purchased the house in Pennsylvania. And that's where, shout out to PA, my PA lifestyle come about. So I moved to PA. My parents bought this amazing house. I hated it. I cried every day. I was in the fucking closet writing raps, diss tracks by my mama. Because I was like, she's so dumb. She let this man come home and move us. Yeah, my daddy, talking about him like a fucking dog. But yeah, so we moved out there.
You got any of those raps?
I don't remember any of them, but I do remember I used to be so bad. I used to be so mad. My little brother used to call me retarded because I used to be in the closet, like literally.
You gotta find one of those raps.
She probably found them and threw the shit away.
Yeah, you gotta rap one of those on Instagram. Like your spoiled ass, get a big house in Pennsylvania, you in the closet writing diss tracks about your parents.
Yeah, I was pissed. So I went to school, started going to school, and then I was like, all right, let me give this thing a try. My brother, he was so like Uncle Tomish, I guess. But it turned out for his best. I love you, Sammy. But he got all into Pennsylvania. He loved Pennsylvania. He joined every fucking activity. He was wrestling. He was running track. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to do something different. So I went and tried to do basketball. The team was trash. So I was like, yeah, this is not for me. And then I just became mixy. Like, everybody loved me. When I got there, all of the white people loved me. And I like had a bunch of white friends. I was going to like rave parties in the middle of the fucking woods. I was crazy. And then I ended up becoming popular with the blacks. And once I became popular with the blacks, that was more of like a flex because the blacks was wearing like designer and they was on my type of time. But I loved the white world. So I ended up meeting this girl, I forgot her name, but she was driving an Escalade truck. And I was pissed. I was like, I'm taking the yellow school bus. Now the train ain't no better than the yellow school bus, but I'm taking the yellow school bus back and forth. Daddy, what is going on? This girl is driving an Escalade. You move me all the way out here. I can drive. I got a license. I need a car. And he ended up feeling like, oh, nobody's going to be better than his daughter. And he went and he purchased me a BMW 3 Series. He put rims on my car. He put BBS rims. He powder coated the fucking rims. I had piping on my seats. It was like beige seats with blue piping. My car was fab, baby. I went back to school the next day and I was that girl. All the niggas wanted to date me. All of the bitches, if they was lesbians, wanted to lick me. No, let me stop. But I'm just saying, like, I was that girl. So when I got to the school,
I'm stop you there though. Because
I'm done with
you. Yo, Scoop tripping. I would stop you there though because we're gonna get into this later. I don't want to get in detail. You know, I know Lauren LaRosa, shout out to you, our Breakfast Club. You got the show on Tubi, the car show. You are the car queen.
That comes years later.
Yeah, I know, but I was always, when I was doing my homework, I was like, how did she get here? How did she get here? And I know that when your dad got out, he did something. He did something out, you know, as far as cars and, you know, kind of like a legacy. So I want you to talk about how your dad was able, like his background of getting the cars.
I think I said that. Then I said he flipped. He went from, when he came home, he came up with a broker. He started the broker deal.
He flipped some cars. And that made it easy for you to be able to get that BMW,
so I'll time into there.
Yeah.
So yeah, my dad, he always had this phrase of, if you're a hustler, a real hustler, you should always be able to reinvent yourself. And when he came out of jail, he was like, I'm never going back to federal penitentiary. I'm never leaving my family. And you know, we had bad times. It was times when I came home, my mother's lights was off and, you know, she was struggling. She was a parent of 4. So it was hard, you know, and we did have a village, but a village can't kick in all the time to help you. So when my dad came home, he reinvented himself. He was no longer a drug dealer. He was selling cars and he was into a business that he loved, which he ended up teaching me the ropes. And that's how I am into the car business now, selling cars, renting cars, owning multiple cars, car fleets, helping people purchase cars, like anything car related, I do. So basically, back to PA, we're in PA. And I ended up winning prom queen of my high school in 1 year.
Ooh.
So yeah, I'm that girl. No, let me stop.
So you driving a Beamer
The B-Man give me prom queen. I was going to win prom queen regardless, whether I had a Beamer, Benz, or Bentley. So yeah, I ended up winning prom queen in my high school. I went to college out there. I stayed there for 2 years. I was in school for nursing. And then my mother was also a manager of the ER. So she was like, yo, if you want to come back to the city and you want to leave PA, I'll get you a job and you'll go from there, and the hospital will pay for you to go to school as long as you are doing something in the medical field. And I was going to school for nursing, so they was paying for it. But being that I was working for the ER, I started to learn like a lot of the backstory of things that go on in the ER, and then I didn't care about it. So on my free time, I would always go to the studio with my little cousin, TJ, who's also a friend of Chris Brown's right now. And I used to help him with his music, like certain things. I would suggest certain things. Yo, you should do this, you should do that there. You should drop the beat here, you should. It was so much like I was musically in tune. So he was like, yo, you always in the studio saying what I should, what I shouldn't do. Let me see you write a song. And I was like, oh, nigga, that's easy. Don't ever threaten me with a good time.
So he didn't know you was already writing raps in the closet?
No, he didn't. Nobody knew that besides my mama.
He didn't know you had practice already?
Nobody knew that. So I was like, all right, cool. Better yet, I'm going to form a group. Now, at this time in Harlem, I hung out with 7 girls, and we were known as Little Ladies, which broke off into 4 girls, which became BBOD, which you may know me as BBOD, Moe Money. BBOD.
For the crowd that don't know, what does BBOD stand for? I know what it means.
So BBOD stand for Bad Bitches on Deck, or Bad Beauties on Deck. And we got that name from like guys. The guys outside used to be like, yo, y'all some bad bitches on deck. So we just was like, you know what, we're gonna run with it. So then we created, I told my friends, I was like, yo, my cousin made a bet that I wouldn't be able to come up with a song. We should do this shit as a group. And my friends was with it. So they was like, yeah, let's do it. None of them knew anything about music. They didn't know how to rap. They didn't know shit. So I was like, look, y'all ain't even gotta do it. I'm gonna write the raps for y'all. Me and my friend Mona L wrote the lyrics, called everybody to the studio. We delivered the song. At this time, we were like party promoters, so we were cool with like all the DJs, DJ Will from Power 105, DJ Self. Like we knew everybody, Pro Style. We were like party promoters, and we wasn't even 21. Okay. So we gave the song to DJ Will, which is called Tubi Rap. And one day we're outside, and the song is on the radio, and we're like, what the hell? So we going crazy, we knocking on people's doors, yo, on their windows of their car. Yo, our song is on the radio, tune in. White people looking at us like we crazy. We are like in the middle of Times Square. So we leave there and we go to a club that we're promoting, and DJ Will's the DJ there. And we're like, oh, thank you, Will, you played our song. And at this time, it was a promoter named his name is Fish, and he's still probably in the game at this time. And he was like, oh, you girls made a song, y'all group, y'all rapping? Let me manage y'all. So we like, what the hell? This shit is just going real fast. Maybe we need to take it serious. Maybe this can be something that we're doing. And Fish ended up managing us. We ended up creating multiple songs, and our music was consistently on the radio. We were a 4-girl group at that time. It was Boss Lady, Damo, shout out to my bestie still to this day. Sexy Lexi, whoever the fuck that is. Mona L, and then me, the 4 girls of BBOD. Mona L left first. No shiggity, she thought that she was hot shit. And you know, people always say light skin privilege, and I feel like she felt she was light, bright, and she thought she was better than group, so she left. No, I'm not shading, I'm not keeping nothing back, I'm telling y'all what the truth is. I don't give a fuck how many lies we told to cover up for these bitches, this is what they did. She left the group because she thought she was hotter than us, and the bitch went nowhere. That's one. Second person is Boss Lady, who's still my best friend. She had, you know, her family were supportive, but then they wasn't. She was the one with the kids, so she couldn't really help, and she didn't have no help. So she ended up leaving the group because she couldn't keep up. But during Damo's time, we were on a lot of major shows. We were opening it up for Rick Ross, Lil' Kim, Machine Gun Kelly, Wale, Jagged Edge. We literally did any concert you could think of at big concerts, Hammerstein Ballroom. Like, we were at fucking arenas. So at that time, we also signed to Stevie J. And Stevie J was...
wow, hold on. I never knew that. A lot of people make it seem like y'all was just signed to DJ Self. Y'all was part of...
We were never signed to DJ Self.
It's a lot of confusion with the Love and Hip Hop and stuff like
that. We
that.
were never signed to DJ
so
Self. No shade, Self, love you down. Yeah, but we was never signed to Self.
DJ Self. So you were signed to Stevie J.
We were signed to Stevie J.
Oh, wow.
Which Stevie J is very talented. Still love him down. He had moved us to Atlanta.
Okay.
Lexi, Moe, and Damo, we lived in Atlanta. We stayed at Jocelyn's house for like a whole 2 months where we lived with her. Jocelyn is super cool, love her down. Shout out to her and all the big things she's doing. And you know, we would work, we would grind, and then we moved from Stevie's house because we was trying to figure out, are we really gonna move to Atlanta or are we gonna stay in New York? In Atlanta, their work ethic, baby, is on 1,000. Like, we work in New York, but they work ethic is like different. It's insane. So we ended up leaving Jocelyn's house, and Stevie had talked to Benzino, and Benzino was like, yo, the girls could stay with me. And he had this huge house, so we stayed in the basement of his house, which was fully decked out. So it wasn't just like a basement. We had a full pool, jacuzzi, kitchen, studio where we can go in any fucking time we want to, gym, everything. And we were allowed to bring like our assistant with us. And at this point, it was just me and Lexi because Damo couldn't come and take all of this time away from her kids, so she had to go back. So at this point, we did a song with Benzino, shot the video. Damo wasn't able to be in any of that, and we was just like, listen, we gotta do something, like we gotta figure this out. What are we doing? And then Damo finally was like, you know what? I'm gonna let y'all go on and do what y'all do, and I'm gonna support BBOD from the back because I can't physically be there all the time. I have a child. So that's what happened. Yeah.
How was it? How was it living with Benzino? How was it living with Jocelyn? How was the party? I know Jocelyn is an amazing individual. Coley Ray, was she in the house? Like, come on, give me some details, man.
Jocelyn, y'all wanna know the juicy. Jocelyn was cool as fuck. We used to have a good time. Jocelyn would call the phone and be like, come downstairs, we going to the club. And we would go to the club and have a fucking ball. We would come back in the house, we would be dancing. Jocelyn must have thought that we was her cabaret girls before the cabaret girls existed. Because we would be in the house dancing, and we had a really good time, like with Jocelyn. And shout out to her, because she didn't have to let us stay in her fucking house, and she did. And I'm not gonna speak for the other bitches, but I love you down for that. Jocelyn was a lot of fun. Who else? Zeno was a lot of fun too. Love Zeno. Like, we lived at the bottom of his house. Zeno had, like, for half of the summer, I believe, when we was there, Corey LeRae was upstairs. His son was upstairs, and also Pops. Zeno's father is the sweetest man ever. He used to barbecue for us, cook burgers, call us, hey girls, you girls coming home? I got the food ready. We used to love Zeno's house. We stayed there for a while. We had a ball. Zeno, I still talk to him every now and then. Like, I love all of them. Like, I have no complaints about any of them. We met so many people through them. We were supposed to be on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta at that time. And Love and Hip Hop Atlanta was like, it just doesn't make sense. The girls are not from Atlanta, they're from New York. So once we got that, we was like, okay, it doesn't make sense for us to be down here. We might as well move the fuck back to New York, and that's what we did.
Now, it makes sense, right? Stevie J, Jocelyn Hernandez, they're Love and Hip Hop royalty.
Oh my God.
And your group, BBOD, ends up on season 6 of Love and Hip Hop. Tell me about that journey. Tell me how that happened, and tell me how that, I won't say change your life, but how was that, like, how did you deal with that as far as your life and being in the main picture?
It definitely changed our life for sure. Love and Hip Hop New York, how did it come about? So we come back to New York. Damo is no longer in the group, but she's still very supportive. She'll come out to whatever hosting show if she's around. She moves to North Carolina, and that's where she is. So when we come back to the city, we move into new buildings. Lexi moves into this building in Fort Lee, and I moved to Hackensack in New Jersey. And these buildings that we live in are very nice, so it's people there of a certain caliber. So Lexi ends up meeting Ra, and when she met Ra was like, oh, I heard that you rap. I want to see some of your stuff, blah, 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 blah. So Lexi showed Ra our stuff. At the time, we had a manager, but she showed her our stuff, and Ra was just like really, I guess, pleased with what she saw. So she had posted a clip of me rapping on her page. And when she posted this picture of me rapping on her page, it went viral. And there was like tons of people writing under there. It was Cisco writing like, oh, Ra, I need to meet her, whatever. And then a bunch of other stuff. So it basically went from there to, like, I guess the producers asking Ra, like, yo, who are these girls? And Ra was like, well, this BBOD. I managed them. And it was kind of like, well, how the fuck you managed them? And we knew that they were signed to Stevie J. But at that time, our contract with Stevie J was over. So we was like, okay, Rob, you want to play like you our manager? Let's do it. We got a manager, but let's do it. So we go to the audition. We automatically get picked the first day to be on Love and Hip Hop season 6. And then we find out about the cast. And I'm like, okay, I see why we picked it. Make a lot of sense. There's some cast members that I don't fuck with. There's some people that we just know. You know, there's people that's supportive of BBOD, like Self, that's playing our music. Like, it just made sense. Like, the cast for New York made sense. Everybody at that time, either we knew somebody or we were connected in some type of way. So that's how we got to Love It.
Well, I can't help myself, but you said there was a guy named Cisco writing for you, and
I didn't say writing for me. Hell no.
In the studio writing whatever. Now, let me talk about that because, you know, I'm one of those guys. You know how like my wife, she'll watch Baddies or something. And I'm one of those guys, but I'm not watching this. I don't want to watch this, but you know how you be watching from the corner of your eye? So I remember my wife watching Love and Hip Hop, seeing you and Lexi, and I'm like, turn this shit off. I don't want to watch Love and Hip Hop. But you know, in the corner of your eye, you watching. And I remember the whole Mariah, Cisco, Moe Money triangle thing. Now,
I was never in nobody's triangle. Let's get this shit straight.
Listen, I could be 1,000% wrong. I'm showing you what I seen from the TV. And that's a person who ain't like an expert, but who was kind of watching, but not really watching. So I want you to clarify that. What was going on in that moment? Is a lot of this for show? Was a lot of this real, what y'all was going through in Love and Hip Hop? Talk me through it.
So everything is real, right? It's just basically Love and Hip Hop capturing your life. So you'll have a PA, which is like a producer that you speak to every day. You'll tell them what you got going on, what upcoming events you have, who you beefing with, blah, blah, blah. So that's how they write story, right? So Cisco had reached out to Rob before we even got on Love and Hip Hop, and he was like, yo, who's this girl? So Rob was like, oh, I want to send you on a date with this guy. He's interested in knowing you. And I was like, all right, cool. So I went out with Cisco. We had a really good time. I think our first day we went from like dinner to like a strip club. We had fucking fun. We had mad fun. And then I was just like, yeah, Cisco's cool. Like, we could vibe. So don't ever think Cisco was never my man, okay? He was somebody I was dating with possibly the intention of him becoming my man, but we was never in a fucking relationship. He was not my man. Y'all heard me? So we kept in contact. He not even my type. I don't even like yellow niggas. So we kept in contact. He is my friend. I love him down, like cool as hell. We would go out. We would do, regular friend shit. And then we got on Love. Well, no shade, Cisco, but they was telling me, and I'm going to just keep it real, they was telling me not even to say your name during fucking story, and I kept mentioning your name, so that's how you got brought back. No shiggity. And my story at that time was so big because I was beefing with everybody, and if you don't know, go back to season 6 and rewind it. I'm the only cast member that ever shows every episode. So I bragged until I got him back on the show, pretty much. He was fired. And he gets on the show, and we vibing. So they shoot us, and the day that they chose to shoot us was during BBOD's listening party for our premiere of our song Ta Ta Talicious. And they decide to invite Mariah Lynn, which we didn't invite her, to our party with DJ Self. Now, Self was invited, but we did not invite Mariah. I didn't even know Mariah. She was from Jersey, I was from Harlem. Did not know each other. So she comes to the party and she decides to tell me that she's dating a nigga that I'm not even dating. So why would I care? I'm not dating him. Both of y'all can exit door stage fucking left, because you're not gonna mess up my event. Both of y'all can go. She had a cup of liquor in her hand, and my thing is, Love and Hip Hop is known for what? Splashing bitches. You're not gonna wipe with my expression. So I knocked her drink out her hand and told her, baby, bye-bye. Y'all can both leave. Y'all can leave together. Because you telling me that you dating a nigga that I'm not even dating, but I look like the problem because I'm brown skinned, and brown skinned girls are known to be what? The problem, or aggressive, or whatever. No, I wasn't aggressive. I was just getting a bitch up out of a party before it went left. That's Cisco's story. He was grand opening, grand closing, and that's pretty much what happened with Cisco. But we are still cool. Like, we'll still speak every now and then if I see him outside. It's nothing but love. But he was never my man, and I'm tired of y'all saying that.
Understood. Heard it here. Now, as far as BBOD and like some of the mixed messages, as far as your music, there was a lot of people who love you. There was a lot of people who was hating. There was a lot of people who said negative things. There was positive things. How did you navigate all of those emotions throughout the season, throughout watching yourself, and millions of people are watching? How was it like navigating that?
So I feel like with Love and Hip Hop, so gonna start there because then we're gonna tie into the BBOD thing.
Yep.
I feel like I already knew. I'm smart enough to know that I was being painted out as the bad person, right? So it's like, how am I going to use this to benefit BBOD? So you already nailing me or trying to paint me as the bad person. So we got good cop, bad cop. Either you're going to like me or you're not going to like me, but you're going to probably like Lexi. So you're going to like either one of us. And whatever way it go, you're going to download, stream, or purchase something that we got going on. So I didn't give a fuck. Mainly people tuned in, and is facts. Y'all tuned in because of my drama. When I left, y'all didn't even watch Love and Hip Hop. They ended up getting fucking, what do we call it? The show ended up getting canceled. So, as much as y'all like to hate me or love me or whatever it is, I embrace it all because good press, bad press, or no press, I was always taught if somebody ain't talking about you, you ain't doing the right fucking thing. So, whatever way you want to go about it, I was cool whatever way you take me. Everybody ain't gonna like me. Everybody ain't gonna love me. I'm an Aries, and we're known to be very aggressive. So everybody not gonna be my cup of tea.
Understood. So what was it like? So educate me. You did season 6?
I did season 6.
And that was it?
We only did season 6 of Love and Hip Hop.
What happened where you weren't recast for season 7 or you decided not to do season 7?
Well, I don't know. Y'all need to ask Mona Scott or Stephanie Gale why we wasn't casted back because we were one of the highest rated cast members of that season. So I don't know. But they actually called Lexi back. So I guess it's no shade towards her. It's shade towards me. When they did a recap of where you are or how you doing, and they brought her back, but they never brought me back to get my story, which I really don't give a fuck. Don't bring me back. I don't care. Because God is going to consistently bless me whether you want to help or not.
Understood. Now, after that, let's get away from that. You transitioned to car culture, which makes sense. It's part of your legacy. You've been a part of it. You've always been driving nice cars. Your dad, your own legacy. Talk to me about the Shop Car Queen show and all the wonderful things you're doing now.
So even during Love and Hip Hop, I always sold cars. I sold cars from like 2010. 2011, I don't remember, but I've been selling cars and working on the side of my dad since I decided to leave the hospital. So I've always was like learning the business, having my own customers, whether it was my friends wanting to purchase a car. And even during the season, like they'll be like, oh, Mo, we got you on schedule to tape today. And I'm like, well, you got to wait until after this customer is done because I'm making way more money here selling a car than I am fucking taping with y'all the whole day. So I didn't give a fuck. But yeah, cars and my company grew into something great. I started doing car reviews where I would cover cars and tell you a little bit about cars that you like, he like, she like. And then it went from there to one day me and Lynn was talking and I'm like, yo, I need to come up with a show. I don't know if it's going to be a podcast. I don't know what it's going to be. And at first she was like, oh, let's do like a dating show. Now people don't know I was in a relationship for like 10 years. I had a boyfriend. Even when I was on Love and Hip Hop, I had a boyfriend, okay?
Woohoo.
Yeah, we're not going to give him no fucking... Now you're trying it.
I had to.
If you know, you know. We are not about to lighten his fucking dim light. But yeah, I had a boyfriend for 10 years. He could have been very helpful. He was a big DJ. That's all I'm going to give y'all. And yeah, it just didn't work out. He had multiple kids. I had no kids. And after a while, I started to realize, like, this is not what I want to do in my life. So after COVID, he was good. He was just as good as going as the virus. And I moved on with my life, focused on my car business, ended up opening up my own Toro company where I rent cars. And then back to Lynn. She was like, yeah, you got to come up with something new. Let's do something new. It started with a dating show, and then I was like, no, dating show, that's not really what I want to do. Like, yeah, I'm very picky on men. That's just not going to work. And I'm also very private. So I was like, yo, let's just do a car show. Let's do a car show where I'm interviewing celebrities about their cars and we talking about crazy car experiences and yada, yada, yada. So I got a couple of my supporting cast members from Love and Hip Hop New York to come and tape with me for me to actually do a sizzle. Shout out to Fresher. Shout out to DJ Drewski. They all came and they taped with me, Jamel Howard. And yeah, I ended up using that as a shopping tool to pitch my show. So as we're using it as a shopping tool, I reached out to like literally every producer, every friend I had, anybody that was in that industry I reached out to, and I sent them a text with the link to preview what me and Lynn had came up with. I sent it to Lauren. I sent it to one of my homegirls that worked at YouTube. I sent it to everybody. Well, Lauren was the first person to reach back to me, and she was like, yo, bitch, this is fire. And I want to be a part of it. I don't care which way, how, who, what, when, and where. I want to be a part of it. Let me help you get this shit picked up. So me, her, and Lynn formed our group chat. We started chatting about which networks we want to pitch to. And I got several offers for my show. Now, I'm not saying that maybe I shouldn't have went with Tubi, but I think I should have. Tubi was basically offering me the most where I can own my show. Like I had deals with BET, baby, I'll give y'all the contracts. I don't have to lie to none of y'all. I had deals with BET, Lifetime. I just felt like my show didn't fit those networks. So Tubi was more of like I had the freedom to do more of what I want, and I still own my stuff rather than someone trying to come in and eventually take over what I created. So that's where we go with the Car Queen show.
No, that's really good. Do you think like everything that went on with BBOD, Love and Hip Hop, made you switch from like, all right, music is great. You're always going to be an artist, right? But now I want to switch into this business, entrepreneur, film type of powerful woman in the industry.
So the Car Queen show wasn't like a switch from me being an artist to me becoming like an owner of my own show, a producer of my own show. Like, no, that wasn't a switch. It was me leveling up. I felt like, okay, I do music. I'm well at doing music. Music I could do while I'm sleeping. I could do that shit. Like, it's so easy. Music is something I walk around and you may say something funny and I turn it into a bar. So music is easy for me. I wanted to do something else. I wanted to challenge myself, and I wanted to make things bigger than what it was. And why not invite people to my day-to-day life? Why not show them more about me? Because you have this picture that Love and Hip Hop painted for you where I'm this bad guy. I'm this evil brown-skinned person that, you know, like just start shit. And no, I was never the starter. I was always the finisher. So, yeah. It was a whole new lane. It was people learning new things about me, also learning new things about your car, also getting to see certain things from your favorite celebrities. Like on Car Queen show, I got Tretch from Naughty by Nature. You might want to see what cars he driving or some of his crazy car experiences. I got DJ Envy, who people know is like known for cars. Like you want to hear shit about him and his wife and where they get it popping in their car. I got Kurt and Rashida. People want to know about their story. Kurt come from Harlem. Kurt is from Harlem. He's always been a car nigga. So people want to know about him. And that's how the Car show came about.
No, it is a great show.
Thank you.
I'm saying it is a great show.
Streaming now on Tubi for free.
Free. What is your current vision for yourself in the next 1 to 3 years? What do you see? What's next for Moe Money?
You know what's so funny? I'm not big on discussing my plans like with the world, right? Because I feel like when you put certain things out there, everybody don't have like your best interests at heart. But it's so many things like I feel the car industry can branch off to. And I have so many amazing ideas. Like the Car Queen show season 1 is just a start of me becoming a producer. Like, don't worry, you're going to have like movies where I'm telling stories about customers and experiences and bad credit, good credit, no credit. Because, baby, I'm dealing with a bitch right now that's causing me a headache. Like, these stories are crazy. There's other women that I want to tap in with that's in the car industry. You know, because it's mostly a male predominant industry where mostly men rule. And there's so many wonderful women that's in that industry. So I want to tap in with them. I want to do cross branding with them and car reviews with them and open light to them. I love Car Blondie. Like, she's that bitch. Like, I want to link with other car girls, and no offense, guys, but I want to link with some car girls. So I have like so much planned in the car world. As far as music, y'all always want to know what I'm putting out new. And this is my personal opinion, I feel like y'all ain't even stream and download the shit that I got out now. So why would I go and invest and spend more money on music when y'all ain't even reached the level of what I need y'all to reach on the shit that's out? And I have wonderful music out. Vibes, Strippers Anthem, no boys allowed. Like, where I'm talking about personal experiences with me and niggas that I've been through terrible relationships with, good relationships with. Like, I talk about it all in my music. So go download it. It's out right now. Bite, B-I-T-E, because bitch, I'm trying to eat.
I got one more question for you, and then after, like I recommend for everybody, I want you to flaunt and tell us what's next, how to reach out to you, how to buy things from you, how to make money, take advantage of the viewers. But you have a big following. Regardless of what you want to say today, people paying attention to what Mo is doing, right? You've been on TV for a while. I've seen you. I've heard you. I've watched Family and Friends, watch BBOD. You're outside. So you have this trifecta, right? You're outside in the community. You're outside. You have the TV. You're on TV. You have the music. You have the car show. So that means you have a certain expectation, right? There's black women watching you. There's black little girls watching you. What do you say to them about everything you went through, about you being your authentic self? What do you say about all the women who look up to you that say, maybe I want to be Mo Money? What do you say about your scars, your healing, your journey? Give them a final message of how you think they should be resilient in this world.
So let's start with, I don't want y'all to ever feel like y'all want to be me. I want y'all to be yourself, because whoever God made you is who you're supposed to be. Let's start there.
Blessings.
That's one. Two, what's some advice? Never give up. Like, if you give up on yourself, everybody else is going to give up on you. You got to believe in what you're doing, and you got to beat the dead horse every day to get it from point A to point B. So don't give up. Other advice, like, I want to start shedding light on like positive things from our community, right? Black people. So it's so funny. Like, I was sleeping and I had a dream, and it's like, I want to create a blog where it's all positivity. Like, everything that's highlighted about us and our community and blacks is negative shit. Why they don't talk about the good? Why they don't talk about accomplishments? Why they don't talk about these things? Because they want us to be either in competition, hate on each other, and they don't want us to uplift each other. On I'm sorry, Caucasian blogs, they don't talk badly about their artists and what's going on. So I want to highlight black excellence. Like, I want to support that element of artists. I also want to have a nonprofit, which I'm working on before Christmas, where I give to where I give to children who have parents who are incarcerated. So I want them to write like Secret Santa lists, and I want to be able to bless them with gifts that they want that either mom or dad cannot provide for them because they are in jail. Because I remember, like, we couldn't get everything when my father was in jail, but they had that. Like, they had Secret Santa. So I want to tap into like my community. If there's anybody that's watching from like Rikers Island to Four Dicks, and you have kids that are like in need, send me your Secret Santa list, and I'm gonna provide y'all with an email. Y'all send it, and we gonna get this thing together. So that's what I'm working on. I want to give back more to my community. I want to highlight more of accomplishments and not failures. And that's just what I'm on. I'm on positivity. If you want some negative shit, please stay away from me, devil.
Final thing. How can people reach you? What's next? What shows you got idea? We got merch. Tell me anything. Flaunt
So
your
yeah, I
stuff.
got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, I got tire shine on sale. You want to shine like a star, or you got some wheels you want to shine up? Make sure you go purchase the Car Queen and King's tire shine. It's available right now on my website, www.missmomoney.com. You can find out the latest with Miss Mo Money on my website. Everything from the Car Queen show, the links is there. I got the Car Queen show out right now, season 1 on Tubi, where I've interviewed, like I said, Kurt and Rashida. I got DJ Envy. I got Tretch from Naughty by Nature. Go see that Crazy Car Stories. Season 2 is on the way. And the people that are on my line, well, not even my line, let me not take credit, on my Uncle Tretch line to be on my show is fucking phenomenal. So I can't wait for y'all to see season 2. If you ain't see season 1, go watch it. Music is coming for y'all. Yeah, I'm going to continue to drop freestyles because, yeah, I'm going to give y'all free shit. And then that's it.
How do they follow you on Instagram?
Make sure y'all follow me, Miss Mo Money, MSMOEMONEY on everything. Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. Oh, I'm on my Snapchat the most. I'm sorry, I'm a fan of Snapchat. I just can't let it go.
It's Miss Mo Money. I thank you so much for being on our platform. We appreciate you.
Thank y'all.